Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had amazing and fruitful discussions in your international teams about the draft resolutions and constitutional amendments. The drafting committee that we have elected and endorsed during our first day of the forum has been working so hard, and we thank you a lot for that, on the draft declaration. The Youth Forum Declaration will be our voices put together in our final document. It will be then presented to the World Scout Conference as the unison of young people present in this 14th World Scout Youth Forum, the first ever virtual and the largest youth forum in the history of Scouting. So let's raise our voices together through this next section that we will go through together to decide on our Youth Forum Declaration. Before we explain the process that we will follow for this voting session, let's take a moment to ensure that everyone is able to log in into the e-voting system. So please, I invite now all heads of delegations to log in so that you are ready to cast your votes whenever we call so. Now, let's watch a short video as a reminder of how to access the e-voting system.
How to access the e-voting system. To access the Youth Forum e-voting system after creating your account, go to vote-yf.scout.org. Note that this is a different URL than the one for the conference. We recommend that you bookmark this page for easy access throughout the event. The head of delegation is to log in with their registered email address and use the personalized password set when creating their account. Note that the link provided in the invitation email is expired as soon as the account is activated. To reset your password, click on the Forgot Password link below the login button. Remember that the preferred browsers are Chrome, Edge, and Safari. The e-voting system will not function on your mobile, and its user experience will be reduced with any other browser.
Again, as everyone should be aware by now, we want to provide as much support as possible to ensure that every delegation that wishes to vote can do so. If you experience any challenges, please contact the help desk through the blue help button, either through the participation platform or the e-voting system. We'll proceed with hearing from the drafting committee now on their formal report to the Youth Forum of their inputs submitted on the declaration and their work to consolidate this into a nice declaration for the Youth Forum to consider. An overview of the amendments received by the deadline will also be presented as part of this report. May I now call upon Eleanor Hedwig from the drafting committee to address the forum. Eleanor, please. Please wait until I give you the floor, as I need to bring you on the screen. I now see you on the screen. The floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. Members, on behalf of the Drafting Committee of the 14th World Scout Youth Forum, the Drafting Committee received by the deadline of 2100 GMT 20 August 2021 for submission of the Youth Forum Declaration and 1100 GMT 21 August 2021 for amendments for the Youth Forum Declaration. 44 draft proposals for the Youth Forum Declaration. Of these proposals, 23 were proposals to the Youth Forum Declaration and 21 were amendments to the draft proposal. All proposals were carefully considered by the Drafting Committee against the Conference Document 2B, Resolution and Amendment Guidelines, In considering the amendments, we paid attention to format, consistency, and avoiding duplicates. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eleanor. This will form the basis of the proceedings of this voting section. To make sure everything is ready with the voting, I will now just check with the voting team, but in the meantime, I'll explain the process to every one of you. May I now bring on the screen the live documents that we have, and we'll explain the process. If the team can move down, for example, to section 2, where we'll explain the process in detail. As shown on the screen, you will now see the paragraph on paragraph 2 on developing youth leadership competencies. As you can see, the drafting committee and the voting team has labeled the amendments in red. We'll first move the entire paragraph to the floor for discussions. And together with the discussions, we'll also introduce all the amendments that are highlighted in red. As you can see, for example, on paragraph 2, there are amendments on sub-bullet point A and bullet point B. We'll take discussions all together from the floor. If delegates wish to speak, you can always use your raise your hand function, and our technical team will bring you back to the stage when available. After we discuss on the paragraph and the amendments, we'll first move on to voting of the amendments. I need to be clear, we are voting all the amendments together, but we are voting them on separate motions. So on the e-voting platform, you will receive 2 motions together. One is on bullet point A, and one is on bullet point B. The 2 votes will be opened simultaneously. And first, we'll vote on all the amendments. After we close the vote on the amendments, we'll announce the results of all the amendments. And we'll make consequential changes directly on the live documents. Afterwards, we'll vote on the entire paragraph as amended. All the head of delegations will have the opportunity to vote for the entire paragraph. And after we finish this for one paragraph, we'll move on to another paragraph. I need to emphasize again, we are taking all the amendments votes together, but they will be on sub-bullet points, and they will be on votes simultaneously on separate motions. One motion for one amended bullet point. We are doing this in the interest of time, and we aim to bring the discussions such that more people have the opportunity to talk and to address the forum. I hope I made myself clear in terms of the voting process. Before we move on to the discussion of the proposals, we'll watch a short video about how to cast your vote for simple majority motions, which will be used for these voting sections.
Here are the steps of how a delegation can cast their vote for simple motions. Log in to the e-voting system and be ready to cast your vote. When the vote is activated, it will show on the left-hand side of the screen under the active vote header. It will include the progress bar, timer, and voter turnout. As quorum is determined at the beginning of the event, the voter turnout serves as an indication of those delegations that decided to practice their right to vote. Click on the active vote. The details of the selected vote will appear on the right side of your screen, with the options to cast your vote. As this is a simple motion, your vote options are in favor, against, or abstain. Select your desired option to cast all your votes. If you wish to split your vote, click on the Split Vote button to enable the function, then allocate all your votes accordingly across the desired vote options. Depending on the size of your browser, the split vote will appear as a drop-down selection or row that easily select options from 0 to 2. You can select or unselect each option by clicking. Carefully review your vote allocation is correct. Note that once you have cast your vote, no further changes can be made. As a measure of caution, the Confirm button will only activate once you have allocated all your votes. Confirm your vote by clicking on the Confirm Vote button. A confirmation message that your vote has been submitted will appear. Once the vote is closed, the results will appear. You can see the overall results of the vote, plus how your delegation voted. For this vote type, the results are determined using simple majority. If there are more votes in favor than votes against, the motion is carried. And in case of a tie, with the same number of votes in favor and against, the motion is defeated. Note that abstentions are not counted neither in favor nor against.
The tutorial was helpful to get a reminder on how the votes will be cast and determined during the voting section. With all delegations having a chance to log in, and I understand that the e-voting system is ready, we'll proceed for this voting section. Remember that we do not have a lot of time, and we want to ensure a fair decision-making process for everyone as possible. Remember, you can reach out to support and ask any questions on the help desk if needed. The Youth Forum Declaration is a key message for the Youth Forum of young people from around the world on what we wish the movement and even local communities should know and to help to act on over the coming years. As shared by the drafting committees, we have some great submissions from international teams, which resulted in the drafting of the draft Youth Forum Declaration. We'll now consider these in order as suggested by the drafting committee. We'll now put the live text on screen, where everyone will have an opportunity to look at the draft text. And the first paragraph that we are going to discuss is paragraph number 1 on youth innovations. the drafting committee has not received any amendments before the stipulated deadlines. I will now open the floor for discussions. You may now raise your hand if you would like to speak. Be reminded that you will only have limited time, and we'll now fix the time to around 1 minute and 30 seconds to make your intervention. When the intervention is almost over, we'll ring the bell to remind you, and we'll hope that you can conclude your interventions, and we'll provide opportunities for other delegates to speak and ask their questions. Delegates, you can now raise your hand if you wish to speak and address the forum. In the meantime, remember, whenever you raise your hand, our production team will send you an invite. And you will need to accept the invite by pressing OK after checking your microphone, your video, and your internet connectivity. After checking all of this, you will be brought to the green room where you'll be ready to put on screen. I will just wait for another minute to see if there is any hand raised. If not, we'll proceed to vote on this paragraph. Seems like our drafting committee is doing a really great job, I would say.
Absolutely, and also shout out to the teams that, put these ideas together also.
I see none. No further comments from the floor. I will now put this to the vote. I will now put paragraph number 1 on youth innovations to a vote. May I ask all the head of delegations to proceed to the e-voting system for vote. I also have the confirmation that the e-voting system is ready to vote. For this first initial vote, we'll open for 10 minutes. As we see time pass by and progress, we'll shorten the voting time. And for this first vote, if the turnout rate is high and the voting team report there is no specific challenges, there is also an opportunity that we'll close this vote earlier. I understand that the vote is now open for vote. we are seeing head of delegates are casting their votes in the e-voting systems. I just want to remind for all head of delegations, if you wish to cast your votes, you may now move on to the e-voting system to cast your votes. The vote will still be opened, and we'll monitor the turnout rate in order to determine whether we'll close the vote early. Head of delegations, if you wish to cast your votes on this motion, please go to the e-voting system and cast your vote accordingly. Thank you for your attention. I now declare the vote closed. We'll now soon announce the results of the vote. The voting team is checking, and we'll soon put the results on the screen. With 188 votes in favor, 6 abstention, 0 against, the motion is carried. Now we have the first paragraph of our youth declaration. All right, keep it going. We have a good start. So moving on to paragraph 2, we'll now put paragraph 2 on the screen. Paragraph 2 is on developing youth leadership competencies. As you can see on the screen, we have also received 2 amendments, one on sub-bullet point A and one on sub-bullet point B, and they are now highlighted in red for your easy reference. I will now move this to the floor and open for discussions for the paragraphs and the amendments. If delegates will wish to speak, you may raise your hand. From the submissions that we have received, we understand that the amendment is to strengthen youth empowerment. Again, I need to remind all delegates, if you wish to speak, you need to use the raise hand button. After that, you will need to accept the invitation to go to the green room. After you pass the technical test on your microphone, on your speaker, and on your internet connectivity, you will be brought to the green room. I will still open the floor for another minute to ensure that all your concerns are addressed. I understand that there are delegates who have raised your hand. Please be patient as we are trying to fix the technical side and bring you to the floor. For other delegates who wish to speak, remember to raise your hand and accept the invitation. Okay, we are still fixing some of the technical. And I understand the delegates from Argentina would like to address the forum. The delegate of Argentina will now bring you on the screen. You will have 1 minute and 30 seconds. You may now address the forum.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Maury and Diana, for this space for Scouts de Argentina. About leadership, I think the amendments are really good. I'll just have it here to double check. Sorry, I'm looking for it. I think the amendments are really good. We also worked on this proposal. In the Inter-American region, we have a very good platform on leadership, and I think it's a good practice so that other regions and NSOs can apply. So thank you for giving us the space and talking about leadership.
Thank you so much. The delegate from Argentina. I see no further hand raised. I will now first move the amended bullet points to a vote. I need to explain once again. There will be two simultaneous votes, one on bullet point A regarding the amendment, and one on amendment B regarding amendments. We'll first take one simultaneous vote for two different sub-bullet points, and after we do the amendments votes, we'll move to the amended proposal. I hope I made myself clear. There will be two simultaneous votes, one on bullet point A and one on bullet point B for the amendments. I understand the voting system is ready. I now ask all the head of delegates, please move to the e-voting system to cast your vote if you wish. The vote is now open. The vote will be open for 5 minutes. Remember, we are voting on the amendments, on amendment bullet point A and amendment bullet point B. The vote is open. The vote is closed. Welcome back to the plenary. We'll soon announce the results of the amendments. We'll announce the results one by one. We'll first go to Amendment A with 184 in favor, 2 against, 0 abstention. The motion is carried. And now we'll move on to announce the results for Amendment B, amendment on sub-bullet B. With 192 votes in favor, 6 abstention, 2 against, the motion is carried. You will now see on the screen the amended proposal after we have carried the 2 amendments. As you can see on the screen, paragraph 2 as amended. We'll now move the entire amended paragraph 2 for a vote. May we ask all the head of delegations to move to the e-voting system and to cast a vote on paragraph 2 as amended. The vote will be open for 3 minutes. I understand the voting system is ready. I now declare the vote open. Head of delegations, if you wish to cast your vote, you may now cast your vote. The vote is closed. We'll soon move on to announce the results on paragraph number 2 as amended. Paragraph number 2, with 177 votes in favor, 3 abstentions, and 0 against, the motion is carried. And now we have a Youth Forum Declaration on developing youth leadership competencies. I will now move on to Deanna for the next paragraph.
Thank you, Maury. We will now move on to paragraph number 3 on the development of young global citizens. As you can see in the live document on screen, we only have one amendment for this paragraph. So I will now open the floor for discussions on the whole paragraph or the amendment. If there are delegates that wishes to address the Youth Forum, you may raise your hand, and you remember that you should accept our invitation to join the green room. Then you will be asked to check your camera, microphone, and speaker. And then, if you have a good connection, you will be asked to press the OK button so that you can join us on stage. So we're now open the floor for discussions on paragraph number 3 on the development of young global citizens. If there are any delegates that wishes to speak, please raise your hand. I see no hands raised. We are discussing, this is the third topic of the Youth Forum, Global Citizenship. Paragraph number 3, we have already covered innovation on paragraph number 1, and on paragraph number 2, we discussed leadership. Now, on paragraph number 3 is about global citizenship. And I really found these proposals really, really interesting, Maury. What do you think?
I think this is really, really crucial as we talk about a lot during the Youth Forum. These are the 3 main pillars that we are going to talk about at the whole Youth Forum. And it is important for participants to really think about what messages we want to bring to the global movement and what messages we want to bring to the local communities. And I'm so glad that the drafting committees and all international teams have worked so hard to put together these 3 paragraphs working on innovations, leaderships, and global citizenships.
And thank you again, once again, to the drafting committee. I see that we have one raised hand. We'll do our best to have the delegate on stage. Remember that you need to accept our invitation to join the green room, and you need to check your microphone, your speaker, your camera, and click on the OK button so that you can so that you can be brought to stage. We are discussing again on paragraph number 3 on development of young global citizens. Let's wait a bit. Let us be patient so that we can hopefully bring the delegate on stage. Depends also on connectivity, and we need to check that everything is going well. I now recognize the delegate of Libya. Welcome to stage. Please keep your intervention to no more than 2 minutes. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great forum. And I just want to emphasize the importance of this amendment, and I want to encourage that the cultural differences should be put in consideration, and the importance of putting that, and that is very important. And I want to emphasize again the importance of these amendments. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, delegate of Libya, for that note. I see no more hands raised, so I will then, if I get confirmation that we're ready to vote, then I will proceed to move the vote. So please, head of delegations, get ready in the e-voting system. We will first be voting on the amendment on the bullet point A. That will be our first vote. The amendment is highlighted in red color. We will be voting to strike out this that it's in red color, so please pay attention to the document. I get confirmation that the vote is ready to go, so I will ask now head of delegations to cast their votes if you wish to. The vote will be opened for 3 minutes. Thank you to all delegations. The vote now is closed. We will get the results soon on screen so that we can all see them. "187 votes in favor, 9 abstentions, and 8 against. The motion is carried. Thank you. So with this, you'll see the changes in the live document and soon on screen. We're now looking at the screen, and we'll take paragraph number 3 now as amended. So all changes have been made now. And we will be voting now on the whole paragraph number 3 as amended. The system is ready, so I will ask once again, if you wish to vote, head of delegations, please go to the e-voting system to cast your vote on paragraph number 3 as amended. The vote is now open for 3 minutes. Thank you to all the delegations. The vote is now closed. So we will be soon looking at the results on screen. With 194 votes in favor and 4 abstentions and 0 votes against, we declare this motion carried. Congratulations, Youth Forum. We have just passed on to the next paragraph, which is paragraph number 4 on environmental sustainability. But before we do that, I will take this time to make a reminder that for this section, delegates can ask to raise their hands and we can be brought to the stage. And observers, you can also interact through the chat. So we move on, as you see on screen, to paragraph number 4 on environmental sustainability. For this topic, that is a very important one we all care about, we received quite a number of proposals. That is a good thing, Maury. But we also received 4 amendments. So I will now open the floor for any discussions on the amendments and the proposal. So if any delegate wishes to speak, please raise your hand. And again, I will remind you the instructions. Once you raise your hand, you should accept a request to come to the green room. And before entering the green room, please check your cameras, microphones, and speakers. If you have a good connection, then we will ask you to press the OK button so that we can bring you on screen. We strongly recommend that you use a handset with a mic. I see that we have one hand raised. Please be patient so that we can ensure that you can be brought to stage. We are now on paragraph number 4 on environmental sustainability. Please remind that you need to accept the invitation to the green room. I see 2 raised hands. Greece and Germany. Please be reminded that you need to accept the invitation to the green room so that we can bring you to stage. I see that the delegate of Greece is ready. Please remind that you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to make your statement or question. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Dear youth delegates, as you probably know, the Mediterranean countries, among others, this year they have faced very disastrous wildfires. And not only that, we see earthquakes in Haiti, and more every year natural disasters are happening around the world. So in the face of those unfortunate events, we are suggesting this amendment in order to strengthen the Youth Forum declaration, as we see that the young people, we should not only mitigate the climate change as a response, but also be actively involved and actively engaged responding to natural events and the climate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Delegate of Greece, for those important remarks. I see now the Delegate of Germany. Please be mindful of time. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm Franca and one of the German delegates. As a worldwide movement, we should lead by example. Not only do we as Scouts have the dedication and also the capacity to fight climate change, and therefore it is our duty to protect the environment as effectively and quickly as possible. To stop global warming, half-heartedness won't be enough. Let's be ambitious and aim for achieving climate neutrality by 2033. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of Germany, for those important remarks. I see one more hand raised. Remember that you have to accept the invitation to join the green room so that we are able to bring you on stage. We are waiting to be able to bring the delegates on stage. Please be patient with us. And again, I see that this, from a personal perspective, I see that this is a very important part of our resolution, since I've been listening to you in the breakout sessions, and I've heard how important this topic is to you. This, I think, quite well reflects those concerns and key messages that you want to convey. So congratulations to you, delegates. Now, I see the delegate of Comoros has raised their hand. Can you please accept the invitation to join the green room so that we can bring you on stage? If there are other delegates that wish to speak to this paragraph number 4 and the amendments on the environmental sustainability, please raise your hand.
And I think this actually echoes the draft resolution proposed to the conference, which is focusing on the climate impact strategies and also emphasize once again the educational offerings that Scouting is offering to our young members nowadays on sustainabilities and the ambitions that we really want to go pushing the entire Scouting movement on sustainability. So I think Youth Forum, you did a great job in putting forward such an important topic on sustainable development and environmental sustainability.
Absolutely, Maury. Again, congratulations, delegates. Can I get a confirmation? I see, yes, I see that the delegate of Comoros is ready. So please, welcome to address the Youth Forum. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to address the Youth Forum. The floor is yours.
Ouais, bonjour tout le monde, je me nomme Sadida Daniel, je suis la déléguée de Comores. J'ai une question seulement. Bon, voilà.
Est-ce que le réseau ne peut pas bénéficier du projet des gestions budgétaires?
Est-ce que la délégation de Comores de Wezombeili ne peut pas avoir des projets de gestion de déchets pour le Wezombeili pour améliorer l'environnement?
Thank you, delegates of Comoros. That is an important question on how we can promote environmental projects. Merci beaucoup pour la question. This declaration, this paragraph on this declaration actually envisions and calls for those projects at various levels, and we can also take the responsibility in our personal action plans to commit to make some local projects that address this topic. So thank you for raising this important note. Thank you, delegate. We note that. I see no other hand raised, so we will move to the vote. The system is ready to vote, so I ask all head of delegations that wish to cast their votes to move on into the e-voting system. We will take the amendments A, C, E, and F as indicated on screen according to the bullets. The vote will be now open for 5 minutes. Thank you to all delegations. We will now be announcing the results for each amendment. So first, we'll go to amendment on sub-bullet point A. With 199 votes in favor, 4 against, and 1 abstention, this motion is carried. We will now move to the results on the amendment on sub-bullet point C. With 193 votes in favor, 5 abstentions, and 0 votes against, this motion is carried. We will now move to the results on the amendment on sub-bullet point E. With 179 votes in favor, 11 against, and 8 abstentions, this motion is carried. And finally, we'll move to the amendment on sub-bullet point F to see the results. With 194 votes in favor, 2 abstentions, and 0 votes against, this motion is carried. We will now vote on the amended proposal, the whole proposal with the amendments incorporated. So as you see on screen, we will be voting on the whole paragraph number 4 on environmental sustainability as amended. Please, head of delegations, if you wish to cast your vote, you may now go to the e-voting system as soon as I get confirmation that we are ready to go. The system is ready, so if you wish to cast your vote, please go to the e-voting system. The vote is now open for Thank you, delegations. The vote is now closed. We will soon announce on screen the results of paragraph number 4, environmental sustainability as amended. With 199 votes in favor, 1 abstention and 0 votes against, the motion is carried. Thank you, delegates. We will now move on to the next paragraph, paragraph number 5, on the COVID-19 recovery and resilience of WASM. As you see now on screen, we have 6 sub-bullet points, and we only receive 2 amendments. One to sub-bullet point B, and another one to sub-bullet point F, which is an addition of a new point. So I will now open the floor for any delegate that wishes to speak and address the Youth Forum. Remember that you can raise your hand, and then you will be asked to join the green room. So you must accept the invitation to join the green room. I will give a few minutes to see if we have hands raised. And if I see no hands raised because of time, I will move to the vote. So if you wish to address the forum on paragraph number 5 or any amendment on paragraph number 5, you may now raise your hand. I see 1 hand raised, so let's be patient to see if we can bring the delegate on stage. Please remember that you need to accept the invitation to join the green room. Please check your microphone, speakers, and camera before you join the green room. This paragraph number 5 on COVID-19 recovery and resilience of WASM is actually really important for us as young people in these difficult times. So I'm glad to see some very good inputs here from delegates. I'll now wait to see if any delegate wishes to address the Youth Forum. If you do wish to address the Youth Forum, please raise your hand. Observers, you can also comment and interact in the live forum discussion, the chat box. So we're now discussing on paragraph number 5 on COVID-19 recovery and resilience of WASM. I see 1 delegation, but we're just coping with some technical challenges, so please be patient. After we take this paragraph number 5 on COVID-19 recovery and resilience of WASM and its corresponding amendments, we'll be taking a break. I know you love the Youth Forum dance, so we'll be taking a break so that you can move your legs and stretch a bit. So don't worry, this is going to be the last one for this section, and we'll be back. I see that the delegate of Netherlands is ready. May I remind the delegate of Netherlands that you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to address the Youth Forum. The floor is yours, delegate.
Thank you. I'm very much wondering what point F refers to in recognizing the toll on not only the overall number of scouts, but also the mental health of the remaining scouts. What is in this context the remaining scouts, and what is meant by the overall number of scouts? What is it referring to? I would say the current phrasing is quite vague, and I'm not sure what I'm voting for here. Thanks, that's all.
Thank you, delegate of the Netherlands. This amendment was proposed by international team number 90 and seconded by international team 93. So you may want to talk to them. We don't have any any other context around this. If you are not sure what you're voting for, you have your voting decision. So any other delegate? I see no more hands raised. So let's wait to see if we have another delegate that wishes to address the Youth Forum. If not, we'll move to the vote. So please, head of delegations, be ready with the system so that we can get this as soon as possible. I know you're all waiting for the Youth Forum dance, so let's bear with us a little bit more, and then you can dance. I see no raised hands, so we will move to the vote. Again, we will first vote on the amendments. Here we have two amendments. We'll vote for amendment on sub-bullet point, vote on sub-bullet point F. The system is ready, so head of delegations, if you wish to cast your vote, you can now do so. This vote will be open for 5 minutes. The vote is open. Thank you, delegations. The vote is now closed. So we'll be announcing the results by each amendment. So for the amendment to sub-bullet point B, the results are, as shown on the screen, 169 votes in favor, 14 against, and 7 abstentions. This amendment is carried. We'll move now to the amendment on sub-bullet point F to see the results. with 128 votes in favor, 29 abstentions, and 27 votes against. This amendment is carried. Thank you, delegations. We will now move to the vote on the proposal as amended. So we're going to vote now on paragraph number 5 with the incorporation of the corresponding amendments that you just voted. So as soon as I get confirmation, we'll move to the vote. Please be ready in the e-voting system. We will now move to the vote. You have 3 minutes to cast your vote if you wish to. Thank you, delegations, for casting your votes. Now we will move to announce the results on paragraph number 5. So with 160 votes in favor, 15 votes against, and 13 votes abstentions, this paragraph is carried. Thank you, delegations. And with that, I announce that we have completed the first section of our Youth Forum Declaration, Young People Shaping a World Full of Challenges. Congratulations, Youth Forum. We will now have a short break so that you can dance, and that we have about 3-minute break after that. We'll come back soon.
Welcome back, Youth Forum. I hope you had a chance to stretch your arms and enjoy the dance a little bit. If you have videos, remember to post them on social media and hashtag Scout Dance Challenge. Let's move on to the proposals. I understand that there is a questions as to why there are two different proposals on the same bullet point and we're taking them together. The drafting committee and also the chairperson have all considered these proposals and considered that they are complementary but not contradictory. And that's why they've decided to put it together. I hope this clarified the process a little bit, and I hope you can trust the professional judgment that the drafting committee is now proposing. And now moving on, we now move on to the second section of the Youth Forum Declaration, and we come to one of the longest sections of the Youth Forum Declaration on youth engagement. I will now move this forward for discussions. As you can see, we have number of amendments, including bullet points E, bullet points F, bullet points G, and bullet points H. And in the interest of time, we'll move things a little bit faster. If you would like to raise your hand, delegations, you can now raise your hand. I see no hands raised. Now I see one hand raised. We'll give some time. We'll give some time to bring the people to the floor. I understand that there are 4 hands in total. We'll take them one by one. And we really appreciate if the Youth Forum delegates can keep your intervention short and concise in the interest of time. I'll also reduce the number of minutes to 1 minute for each delegate in order to provide more opportunity for our delegates to speak and address the forum. Please also note that there is amendment on the preamble section of this paragraph, and we'll also vote on that. I understand that delegates are ready. We'll give some time. And now, I understand the delegations of Ivory Coast is ready. We'll now bring you to the screen. Please keep your interventions to 1 minute. You may now start.
Okay. Greetings to you all, and on this amendment, we salute the efforts in order to increase youth engagement and youth participation in the decision-making processes, and definitely think that it is the best way forward for our movement. But as to ensure the success of those endeavors, we'd also like the measures toward the said topic of youth engagement and the support to the NSOs to be taken into account the cultural realities and specificities of NSOs as to ensure that it goes along with their already applied efforts made in terms of youth engagement, and as to ensure a good ongoing of intergenerational dialogues and relations at the locals and community levels.
Thank you so much, the delegations from Ivory Coast. I understand the delegations of Sweden is ready. We'll now bring delegation of Sweden on the screen. Delegation of Sweden, you have 1 minute. You may now start.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to speak in favor of the proposed change of splitting the paragraph on structural measures for better youth inclusion in decision-making. That's number F and G. If we are to understand the challenges we're facing regarding to meaningful youth inclusion, we need to understand the difference of processes with regards to.
We understand there is a technical challenge here. we'll bring Sweden back in, if possible, afterwards. We'll now have the delegations of Norway, followed by the delegations of Egypt. The delegations of Norway, we have you on the stage. The floor is yours. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. I'm Freya from Norway, speaking as part of one of the international teams who've been working on these amendments, specifically E, F, and G. And I'm here to speak in favour of F specifically, as it strengthens the language of the declaration and thus of huge engagement and involvement by adding a focus on the quotas being a temporary measure. It's not a goal, it's not what we want for our Scout movement, but it is a method to get where we want, to get to a place where quotas is not something we need to consider in a youth organisation. Furthermore, we hope that it will be an additional push so that we will work harder towards a reality where quotas are not needed, as visible in Amendment H, for example. Thank you very much.
We'll bring the delegation of Egypt as the last one. The delegation of Egypt, the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you very much, Chair, for this opportunity. First and foremost, would like to thank everyone who's worked on this this beautiful declaration and amendments. I just want to put some light on how this is a transitional step. So it's a step for us to be more inclusive.
We understand that there is a technical glitch here, but we understand and we noted your remarks. I also want to pinpoint to the delegation and bring you to the attention, especially for proposal G and H. I would like to make a clarification here. We received two proposals. They are quite similar, that I want to explain how does it work in the voting process. We'll have G and H, and as you can see in H, the only difference in terms of the text is the blue highlighted one. So if you delegations would like to cast your vote and vote in favor of H, we'll include the wider text. If you would like to move in favor of G and against H, then we'll move only and carry the shorter text in G. Okay? I hope I made myself clear. We'll now open the system for votes after checking with the voting team. I ask all the delegations, please move to the e-voting system if you are ready to cast your vote. I'm waiting for confirmation, so please bear with us for a minute. The system is ready, and we're now open for votes. The vote will be open for 5 minutes. As we see higher turnout rates, I now declare the vote to close earlier. And also there was a miscommunication here. So for the next vote that we are going to make, we'll move all the amendments on simultaneous vote just we have before the break. I will now first put on screen the results for the first amendment that we made on the introduction part of this paragraph. With 173 votes in favor, 6 against, 1 abstain, the motion is carried. I will now move on to the next vote of all the amendments on the bullet points. They will be open simultaneously. The vote will be open for 5 minutes after the confirmation of the voting team. I understand the system is ready. The vote will now be open. As time passes by, if there is a high vote turnout rate, there is a discretion that will close the vote earlier in the interest of time. Thank you for your kind consideration. Thank you so much. I now declare the vote closed, and we'll show the results on the screen. First, on amendment bullet point E, the motion is carried. Next, we'll move on to amendment F. The motion is carried. Then we move to amendment G. The amendment is carried. And lastly, on amendment H, the motion is carried. I just want to bring to the attention to the youth forum that since both G and H are carried, we are keeping the wider text in H but not G. I hope this clarifies the matter. And now we'll show on the screen the tidy up text as proposed paragraph as amended. We are still doing some final tidy up. Okay, we'll now move this paragraph on youth engagement as amended to a vote. For head of delegations, please move on to the voting platform. The vote will be open for 3 minutes. I understand that the system is ready. The vote will now be open. The vote is now closed. We'll show the results on the screen shortly. The motion is carried, so the entire paragraph as amended is now carried. We'll now move on to paragraph 7 on educational methods. As you can see on the screen, there are 4 bullet points, where bullet point B has 1 amendment. I will now open the floor for discussions on both the paragraphs and the amendments. I understand there's a hand raised from Canada. We'll try to figure out the technical side and bring you to the screen. I understand Canada has lowered your hands. Now we have Malaysia, who have raised your hand. We are trying to bring you to the green room. Remember, you need to accept the invitation to go into the green room, and we'll bring you to the stage. For delegations of Canada, I will also suggest you to use the Q&A box if you have any further questions. I understand the delegations from Malaysia. You have raised your hand. You will need to accept the invitations from the production team in order for us to bring you to the green room and bring you on the stage. Please be patient with us. And in the meantime, I would like to ask if there are any other delegations who would like to speak to the forum and to address to the forum. Please raise your hand now. I understand there is another hand raised. We'll try to figure out the technical side of it and bring you on the stage. Please bear with us. I understand it's firstly Malaysia and India. With the delegations of Malaysia and India, please accept the invitation such that we can bring you to the green room. I understand Malaysia is still dealing with the technical side. I will first bring the delegations of India to address the forum. You have 1 minute. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mori. Greetings from India. I totally support the amendment, and on behalf of the entire Indian delegation, we would like to say that safe from harm at all levels is really important. Also, we wanted to let you know that due to the COVID pandemic, all our scouting took a great hit, and mental health is the utmost priority here. So we totally support the amendment.
Thank you so much for your intervention, delegation of India. I understand that Malaysia is now not coming to the stage. I see no further hands raised. I will now move the amendment B, to a vote. The system is ready. The vote will be open for 3 minutes. With head of delegations, if you wish to cast your vote, please move on to the system. The vote is open. The vote is now closed. We'll now announce the results on the screen. The amendment, sub-bullet point B, on educational methods. The motion is carried. We'll now move on to the proposals as amended. As you can see on screen, this is the amended text after the amendment. I will now open for a vote. I understand that the voting team is setting up the vote. Please be patient with us. Would all head of delegations please be ready to the e-voting system. The vote will open for up to 3 minutes, but now we have done so many votes. I hope you guys can be faster in this. You friends will be faster in it, and we'll all move faster together. The vote is now open for 3 minutes. The vote is now closed. Thank you so much, Forum, for being so efficient in trusting the voting system and casting your votes. The voting results will be now shown on the screen. The motion is carried. And I will now pass on to Deanna to continue the process.
Thank you, Maury. So in the interest of time, we will take paragraphs number 8 on diversity and inclusion, paragraph number 9, social impact, and paragraph number 10 on communications and external relations together. So I will now open the floor for any discussions that the delegates wishes to address the Youth Forum on paragraph number 8 and its amendments, paragraph number 9 and its amendment, and paragraph number 10 and its amendment. Please, if you wish to address the forum, raise your hand and prepare yourself to join the green room. I see some have already raised their hands. So as soon as I get confirmation, I will let you know. So just a reminder, we will be addressing together paragraphs 8 on diversity and inclusion, 9 on social impact, and 10 on communications and external relations. I see the delegate of Argentina is ready to come on stage. May I please request that you give your intervention concise, up to 1 minute. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. About social impact, I wanted to talk. First of all, as young people, we need to have tools to measure the impact of our service, work, and projects in our local communities, and we should request our NSOs to help us with that hard task. Also, in Scouts de Argentina, we have experience with working on vulnerable contexts, and we're convinced that community involvement is our response to society. And we know that many times Scout groups work as one of the few spaces of containment for girls and boys, becoming a safe place for enhancing children's ability to recognize themselves as children and subjects of right. Social impact and community involvement is an invitation I would like to propose to all youth present in this forum. And you can achieve this by being an active in your communities, identifying vulnerable communities where the Scout movement could be a real opportunity. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate of Argentina, for those remarks. I'll now invite the Delegate of Hong Kong to address the forum. Please keep your intervention to not more than 1 minute. The floor is yours, Delegate.
In the point of view of Hong Kong, we would like to keep the statement about recognizing the national realities. I think it is important to show the respect to different culture and the social norms so that we can create an inclusive environment step by step. I think it is ideal for every National Scout organizations to achieve diversity and inclusion in their community. But it needs to be done progressively, considering the actual situation of different places. So this is my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of Hong Kong. May I please ask all delegates that are addressing the forum to mention first which paragraph they will be referring to so that we can show that also on screen. Thank you. Now we'll bring the delegate of the Netherlands to address the Youth Forum. Please keep your intervention concise. The floor is yours.
Hi. We share the same concerns as Hong Kong in that diversity and inclusion subtext is removed. Recognizing national realities is incredibly important in embracing diversity. Understanding and recognizing national realities of countries and NSOs is therefore, in our opinion, vital in embracing diversity. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of the Netherlands. I see one other hand raised. Just bear with us a minute so that we can confirm if they are coming to stage. Please be reminded that you need to accept the invitation to join the green room. Please check your mic, camera, and speakers before joining, but please accept the invitation to join the green room. I see other hands raised. Let me just get confirmation of who's ready so that we can bring them. I see we have some delegates waiting. Please be reminded that you need to accept the invitation to join the green room. I know I sound like repeating this a lot, but you need to accept the invitation to the green room. After we are waiting to 2 delegates to accept the invitation, Côte d'Ivoire and France, After them, we're not taking any more delegates in the interest of time. So I'm just waiting to get confirmation if the delegates of Côte d'Ivoire and France can accept the invitation to join the green room, and if we cannot contact them, then we'll need to move on to the vote. So please be patient. We have the delegate of France ready to address the Youth Forum. Please keep your intervention to no more than 1 minute. The floor is yours.
Bonjour, la délégation française encourage toutes les délégations à voter en faveur du deuxième amendement de diversité et inclusion, car ça promouvoit l'image de diversité du mouvement scout et que toute personne devrait se sentir incluse dans le scoutisme. Et les programmes pour les jeunes qui parlent de ce sujet vont pouvoir permettre cela.
Merci beaucoup, the delegate of France. I see no other hands raised, and we lost connection with the delegate of Côte d'Ivoire. So I will now move to the vote. Please be reminded that we will be voting on amendments on paragraph number 8 on diversity and inclusion, amendments on paragraph 9 on social impact, and amendments also on paragraph number 10, communications and external relations. Please check out how it's labeled in the voting system, and we will have 7 minutes to vote on this. I mean, if you can make it faster because you're experts, that is also okay. So can I get confirmation if we have the system is ready? I get confirmation that we're ready to vote. So the vote is now open for 7 minutes. Thank you, delegations. We will now see the results of each of the amendments. On paragraph 8, diversity and inclusion, the first amendment was in the introduction, so we will look at the results, and the motion is carried. Thank you. We will move now to the amendment proposed in bullet point E. We'll see the results on screen, and this motion is also carried. Thank you. Then we will move to paragraph number 9 on social impact to see the results of the amendment on bullet point D. The amendment is carried. Thank you. And finally, we'll move to paragraph number 10 on communications and external relations. There was an amendment on bullet point E. This amendment is also carried. Thank you, delegations. We will now proceed to a vote on these paragraphs as amended. So we will vote on paragraph 8, diversity and inclusion, considering the amendments that were carried, and then paragraph number 9 equally, and paragraph number 10 equally. These 3 simultaneous votes will be open for 5 minutes. As soon as I get confirmation, I'll let you know. So once again, we're voting on the whole paragraphs as amended, paragraphs 8, 9, and 10. The system is ready, so I'll now open the vote for 5 minutes. Thank you to all delegations. We will now proceed to see the results on paragraph 8, 9, and 10 as amended, each one of them. So for paragraph 8 as amended, we see that the motion is carried. Thank you. We will now move to paragraph number 9 on social impact to see the results on the proposal as amended, and we see it's carried. Thank you. And lastly, here with me, we'll see results on paragraph number 10 as amended. We also see that this paragraph as amended, the motion is carried. Thank you. So, forum, we're almost there. Please keep your energy high. I'm just going to pass it over to Maury for the last paragraph.
Thank you so much. Dear forum, now we come to the last paragraph of the Youth Forum Declaration. And I hope you still have some energy and we'll go through them as quick as possible. Now on 11, as you can see on the screen, there are 3 amendments, A, B, and C. And I just want to make a clarification here. For B, the proposal is a deletion. So if it is carried, then it will be deleted from the Youth Forum Declaration. I now invite delegations who would like to speak and address the forum to raise your hand. I understand we have some delegations who have raised your hand. We'll soon bring you to the green room. Remember that you will need to accept the invitation. Before entering the green room, remember delegates will be asked to check their cameras, microphones, and speakers. If you have good connection, please click OK, and we'll bring you to the screen. I see we are still working on. And can I ask all delegates, if you wish to speak, please raise your hand now, such that our production team can start bringing you to the green room. I understand the delegates of Belgium has raised your hand and will fix the technical challenges. We are still trying to resolve the challenge we are facing. And I would strongly encourage you to check your settings again in order for us to bring you to the green room. Other than the delegates from Belgium, can I just check if there's any other delegates who wish to address the forum? I see no further hand raised. I will take Belgium as the last delegate to speak for today's section. And we're still trying to fix the technical glitches that the delegations of Belgium is facing. The delegation of Belgium, may I suggest you to use the Q&A box to raise your comment, and we'll address on behalf of you. I hope this will be an alternative approach that you can use to raise your remarks to address the forum. The delegations of Belgium, I'll give you 30 more seconds, and we'll need to conclude here. Thank you so much for the entire youth forum for being so patient with us today. It turns out our e-voting system works very well. I also want to take this opportunity to show my greatest gratitude to the e-voting team for pulling this together, and a group of tellers that is helping us to monitor the system, and of course the planning team for bringing this together. As you can see, the e-voting system, you may only see like the three of us sitting here, but there is a great team at the back. Okay, I understand and got a confirmation that Belgium is not joining us. I will now move the amendments to the vote. There will be 3 simultaneous votes, one on A, one on B, and one on C. I will have the confirmation from the voting team that the vote is ready. The vote will now be open. At the head of delegations, please cast your vote. Welcome back. The vote is now closed. We will announce the result on the screen. For Amendment A, as you can see on the screen, the motion is carried. We move on quickly to Amendment B. The motion is carried. Lastly, for Amendment C, the motion is carried. With the 3 carried amendments, we'll now move on to the vote on the paragraph as amended. We're now on paragraph 11, governance as amended. As shown on the screen is a clean text for this paragraph. We'll now open the vote for 3 minutes after the voting team has confirmed the vote. Would head of delegations please move on to the system? I understand the system is ready. The vote is now open for 3 minutes. Welcome back to the plenary. We'll soon announce the results on paragraph 11, governance as amended. The motion is carried. I would like to tell the youth forum that we're not going to take the vote on the entire youth forum declaration today in the interest of time. There will be further announcement tomorrow to move the entire youth forum declaration. There is also an important announcement on deadlines. We understand that every one of us here is working very hard on the youth forum declarations, and all of you are eager to work a lot more on your draft proposals. So here we are postponing the deadlines for submissions of proposals to the draft resolutions to 7 p.m. GMT. I repeat myself, the deadline will be postponed 1 hour to 7 p.m. GMT. But at the same time, in consultation with the drafting committee, in order to allow the drafting committee sufficient time to process all the amendments afterwards, the second deadline was originally 11 a.m. GMT tomorrow. And now we'll change it to 10 a.m. GMT tomorrow. 10 a.m. GMT tomorrow. I hope you can understand our consideration. We also urge everyone in the plenary to also make good use of your time to meet in your international teams and also to work on your personal action plan. Furthermore, don't miss out the Bridging Culture section, in which you will have the opportunity to meet more youth from around the world and to celebrate the diversity and unity of our Scouts. Bring something to share your culture with the rest of the world, and there will be one very special guest to join you in celebrating cultural diversity. Finally, just a quick reminder that tomorrow we'll be conducting focus group discussions in various languages to gather your feedback on your experience in this event. If you are signed up for one, please join us in time. The invitation is now in your email. We hope you are enjoying the forum. I hereby adjourn the plenary session. See you tomorrow.